Hello guys. Today we're going to talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the follow-up to the other Spider-Verse movie. This one came out in 2023 this year. It's rated PG and it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. It has 8.7 out of 10 with about 281,000-ish user votes, and it has 86% on Metacritic with about 308 critics. It's directed by a series of guys. Joaquim dos Santos seems to be the lead one. He was producer for he helped out with Avatar: The Last Airbender. It stars Shameik Moore. I hope I pronounced that right. These apps are so touchy. He was also in the movie The Samaritan. And then also stars Haley Stenfield, who was also in the prior Spider-Verse movie. On Rotten Tomatoes, the movie has 96% by critics with 379 critics and 94% by audiences, about 10,000-ish audience people. Critics' consensus is just a visually dazzling and action-packed as its predecessor. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse thrills from start to cliffhanger conclusion. We'll get to that in a minute. From incredible animation to a super story and tons of Easter eggs, this is what the audience says. From incredible animation to a super story and tons of Easter eggs, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has everything that fans could ask for. So, the first Spider-Verse movie, way back when, God, I think it was 2019, actually. Maybe earlier than that. Maybe 2018? No, not 2018. Maybe 2019. I don't remember, but it's been a while. And man, this movie's awesome. Very visually awesome. It's funny, this movie has a lot of moments where in other movies it feels draggy, but in this one it doesn't. And I think the biggest reason why it doesn't is because the stuff that it's talking about exploring is it's a combination of that stuff being very compelling, and also the action's already so frantic that when you take times to breathe it in, it's still great because the animation's still capturing it too. This movie goes way bigger than the prior one. There's a lot more going on. Having the main villain's very interesting. They are doing a pretty good job with him as well. They really took a gamble on this, and it worked really well. There's not a lot of complaints about this movie. I will say though, there is a part two. Now, there being a part two is no secret, at least for me. I knew way in advance there was going to be a part two through when you look stuff up, promotion or whatever. But when I went to see it, for some reason, 90% of the theater was shocked to know that this was part one and part two was coming later, which is crazy to me. You see, and here's the thing: it's not like Across the Spider-Verse part one; it's just Across the Spider-Verse. But it was just crazy to me that so many people didn't know there was going to be a part two to this because it was never a secret. But it's so weird how everyone reacted to that. The only thing about this movie, because here's the thing, the first movie was a start to end thing. The issue with having stuff as a part one or part two kind of thing, then you start investing in the idea that you have to spend a lot of time to watch the story beginning to end with the two-parters. And it's great, but it's a lot of time. And some people may not like that. That's really the only caveat with that. Outside of that, this is a really good movie. Really, really, really good movie. I like that they stretched the PG out a little bit in this, because here's the oh my god, the cameos in this. There's some cameos in this movie that were super cool. I love, and this movie's been out for a bit, so I'm gonna be a little loose on the spoilers a little bit. This movie has a lot of mixture of animated styles and some live action stuff, which is really fun to see mixed with animation. They don't do that anymore, which is very weird because with the technology nowadays, that's no issue. But for some reason, you don't see that anymore, and I kind of wish you did that, especially with animation getting as popular now more than ever. I would argue, um, and like you would think that they mix that with live action a hell of a lot more, and I would love to see more of that. Um, I think the only I can't think of anything else. Like, there's not a lot to get into about this movie because it's so solid. Like, there's not really any issues in it that I can think of. Um, 2 hours and 20 minutes, even for that is quite a chunk of time. But like I said, it keeps you invested in it, and it's really really good. And I read somewhere that apparently that they, like, even though this is part one, they haven't started part two yet until like whatever. So it's gonna be a bit. It's not the traditional thing when they do part one, part twos, where they kind of film them very close together and then they release them like a year and a half apart from each other. That's not going to be the case here. So it might be a while before you see part two. So that's the only other caveat to making this like a part one, is that you're going to spend a while watching this, just hinging on that cliffhanger to part two. So but yeah, outside of that, this is a really fun, really solid movie. Definitely a recommendation for sure. But outside of that, that's gonna do it for this specific video here. Thanks for watching, guys. In case you guys wanted to chat with anyone at the Campy Company, you didn't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab on our channel as well. You can access that anywhere, anytime. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.